Hello amigos, today I have brought a full action-packed anime for you, which has thriller, comedy, romance, suspense, drama, manipulation, psychological drama, overloaded hotness, serious college politics, and much more. The name of this anime is Classroom of the Elite, and today, with my partner Amelia, I am covering the first episode of its Season 1, so sit back, relax, because I bring you the story of the second greatest manipulator of all time, Ayanokoji Kiyotaka, because the first one is like Yamei, and you all know he is the greatest of all time. So let's jump straight into it.
All right, so let's set the stage. So the episode starts off with this big philosophical question are people truly equal?
Ooh, deep stuff.
Right. And then boom, we're suddenly on a bus with all these high school students heading to their new school.
Okay. Classic anime setup. Gotta love it.
I know, right? And right away we're introduced to one of the main themes of the series, this whole tension between individual freedom and what society expects of you.
I see it.
There's even this scene where a student refuses to give up his seat to an elderly woman.
Oh, wow. Bold move.
I know, right?
Oh.
He argues that there's no legal obligation to do it.
Oh, so he's playing by his own rules already?
Exactly. And it's especially kind of wild considering they're on their way to this crazy prestigious high school.
Wait, what's the school?
It's called Tokyo Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing High School.
Whoa, what a mouthful.
I know, right? But it's basically designed to create Japan's future elite.
Okay, so super high stakes.
Yeah, exactly. This school, boasts 100% employment and college placement rates.
Wow, no pressure or anything.
Right. And that creates this crazy competitive atmosphere. Everyone's trying to be the best.
Makes sense. But I wonder what they have to sacrifice to get there, what are they willing to give up?
That is the question. And that's where our main character comes in, Ayanokoji Kiyotaka.
Ooh, let's meet him.
He's this super quiet, very observant student.
Yeah.
He just seems to be watching everything unfold,
Yeah.
almost with a detached curiosity,
Okay, so he's the mysterious type.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he notices this other student, Horikita Suzume, who also chose not to give up her seat on the bus.
Interesting. So maybe they have something in common. Maybe they're both a little rebellious or at least willing to question things.
Maybe. I like where your head's at. But before we can get into all that, we get to the school entrance ceremony. Big moment. And the student council president gives this huge speech about the school's philosophy. All about continuous effort and upholding the school's pride.
Okay. Sounds very official.
Yeah, and kind of intimidating, if you ask me.
Yeah, I can see that. Especially with that emphasis on pride, right? It sounds like there's a strong sense of community.
Yeah.
But also this pressure to fit in and be a certain way.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder how our protagonist, who seems to prefer to blend in, how he's going to handle this kind of environment.
Yeah, it's a good question.
And then, here comes a real shocker. This school runs on a complete meritocracy system.
Oh, wow. So everything you do counts.
Big time. Students are ranked based on their abilities and achievements, and that translates into real rewards and consequences.
So it's not just about academics then, it's social and economic pressure too. Man, that really ups the ante. Makes you wonder how this whole system affects how the students treat each other.
For sure. Competition can be good, but it can also turn people against each other. And speaking of how students treat each other, it seems like Ayanokoji is already getting some attention.
Ooh, okay, is this where the drama starts?
Maybe. So we meet Hirata Yusuke, the super friendly, outgoing classmate. And then there's Kushida Kikyu, who is just incredibly sweet, wants to be friends with everyone.
Okay, so we're getting the classic high school drama archetypes, right? You got your potential allies, your rivals, but in this case, it's all happening under this crazy merit-based system.
Exactly. And then we get this hilarious scene where the teacher's explaining all the school's crazy rules.
Okay, hit me with the rules.
It's a boarding school, so students can't leave campus or contact the outside world.
Whoa, that's intense.
Right. And get this, they get a monthly allowance of 100,000 points.
Wait, what? That's insane. Are these points real money?
That's what they think at first. They're all excited about this huge allowance, but then plot twist. They find out those points are tied to their class ranking and how well they do.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Don't tell me.
Class D, where all our main characters are, they're at the bottom.
Oh no, poor Class D. So they basically thought they were living the high life, but it was all fake money.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's like the teacher says, did you really think you could just waste 100,000 points every month and there wouldn't be consequences? That's absurd.
Ouch. That's gotta be a harsh wake-up call.
Talk about a reality check.
Yeah. It's a pretty brutal reminder that, Everything you do matters in this school. Like, they've been judged and they failed the test.
I know. Poor Class D. Officially at the bottom of the food chain. But you know what? I have a feeling this is just the beginning of their story. And trust me, things are going to get a lot more interesting.
It's kind of wild to think about how this sudden, like, drop from grace is going to mess with their heads, you know?
Yeah, totally.
They go from this carefree, kind of spoiled existence to, like, bam, the real world hits.
Quick time.
It's like a crash course in facing the consequences of your actions.
Right.
Makes you think.
It does. So where do we go from here? Well, the episode picks up with Class D totally reeling from this point. Shocked.
It makes sense.
They're confused, they're angry, and they're definitely starting to blame each other.
Oh, yeah, that's human nature 101 right there. You take away someone's comfort and they're going to lash out.
Exactly. It's a natural reaction when you lose something you thought you had, you know? They were used to a certain lifestyle, and now they have to face the fact that they didn't earn it.
It's like their true colors start to show.
Totally. Some were like in denial. They refused to believe that they could have blown through all their points.
I can see that.
While others are just like pointing fingers at everyone else, blaming anyone but themselves.
It's interesting, isn't it, how people deal with tough situations so differently?
Yeah, it's like a little window into psychology, you know, how people behave under pressure.
Yeah, I get that.
And then, in the middle of all this drama, we have our boy Ayanokoji.
Our quiet observer.
Yep. Still just watching everything with that, like, calm, cool demeanor.
I can just picture him, like, taking it all in, analyzing everyone.
Right. You can practically see the wheels turning in his head, like he's trying to figure out what to do next.
Oh. Do you think he already has a plan brewing?
Honestly,
Nah.
I wouldn't be surprised. He strikes me as someone who likes to work from the shadows, you know? While everyone else is busy freaking out, he's thinking 10 steps ahead.
I like it. I like it.
But then we have Horikita.
Ah, yes. The girl who also stood her ground on the bus.
Yep. She's not about to just sit around and feel sorry for herself, though.
No way.
Oh, she's already trying to rally her classmates, you know?
Yeah.
Like urging them to take responsibility and figure out how to earn those points back.
That's our girl.
But, you know, people react differently to that kind of leadership.
Yeah, not everyone likes to be told what to do, especially when they're already stressed.
Exactly. Some students are inspired by her, like
Yeah.
they're ready to follow her lead.
Right.
But others, not so much.
Yeah, some people just resist change no matter what, and some are just lazy, I guess.
It's like a microcosm of any group, you know? Like you see this in workplaces, families, everywhere. You've got your leaders, your followers, your skeptics. It's human nature, I guess.
Totally. So who do you think will end up leading Class D?
That's the big question, isn't it? Will it be Horikita, who's all about taking action? Or Ayanokoji, with his mastermind strategies?
Ooh, good point.
Or maybe someone we haven't even met yet?
Ooh, a dark horse candidate.
You never know. And that's what keeps us on the edge of our seats, right?
Oh, yeah.
Trying to figure out who to trust, who to root for. It's like a real-life social experiment.
Totally. But don't forget about those consequences we talked about. The fact that their whole lives in this school revolve around these points.
Yeah. I wanted to circle back to that. It's such a cool concept, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's like the writers took the idea of money and made it even more intense.
For sure. Because it's not just about buying stuff.
Right. It controls everything.
Their whole life, yeah. Their food, their housing, even their social status. It's like a giant metaphor for how our society values success, or what we think of as success.
It really makes you think, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what would you do if you were in their shoes?
Yeah, it's like a pressure cooker of human nature. You got the drive to win, the fear of losing, and all the temptations in between.
So, back to the episode.
Okay, let's get back to it.
We left Class D at the very bottom. No privileges. The future's uncertain. How do they handle it? Does anyone step up? Do they pull themselves together?
Well, this is where things get really interesting because we see how different people handle the stress.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Some students get desperate, you know, like they start selling their stuff or even begging for food. They go from having everything to barely scraping by.
It's like a reminder that their situation is super fragile.
Right. And it's not just about material stuff either. Their social standing takes a hit too. They're like the losers of the school now. Everyone looks down at them.
Ooh, that's gotta sting.
It's a real test of their character, you know? Can they bounce back from this?
And then we get this cool moment where Ayanokoji, you know, our quiet guy.
Hey, Mr. Observant.
Yeah. He starts putting the pieces together. He notices that the school store is still full of stuff, even though everyone's supposed to be broke.
Ooh, good catch. That's a sharp observation. It's like he's seeing something that everyone else is missing.
Exactly. Like he's sensing that something's not quite right.
It's like he's found a clue in a mystery.
Right. And as he digs deeper, he starts to uncover a hidden side to this whole point system.
Okay, this is getting good.
Like there's this whole network of special challenges and events where students can get bonus points.
Yeah.
It's like a secret part of the game that no one else knows about.
Whoa, that changes everything.
I know, right? Suddenly it's not just about grades anymore. It's about strategy, taking risks, knowing how to play the game.
And reading between the lines.
Totally.
It makes you think about the real world, too, you know? How success isn't always about what you know, but who you know and how you play the game.
Ooh, yeah.
Like those unspoken rules we all have to figure out, right?
For sure. So, what does Ayanokoji do with this new information? Does he tell his classmates?
Ooh, good question. Or does he keep it to himself and get ahead?
Well, that's the million-point question.
Yeah.
Remember, we still don't know much about him. What's he really after? But we do see that he starts kind of nudging his classmates towards these hidden opportunities.
Oh, interesting. So he's not a loud, take charge kind of leader. More like the puppet master working behind the scenes.
Exactly. Pulling the strings, making things happen.
That is so cool. Like, what happens next? Does Ayanokoji spill the beans about the secret points?
Well, let's find out. The episode really dives into this whole hidden point system.
Okay, good.
Ayanokoji starts investigating.
Uh-huh.
And he finds this whole, like, secret network of special challenges.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and these challenges, they give students a chance to earn, like, bonus points.
Oh, that's smart. So it's not just about being good in class.
Exactly.
You gotta think outside the box.
It's like a whole secret game within the school.
Kind of like a secret society or something.
Right. Operating right under everyone's noses.
This is getting good.
Yeah.
So it's not just about grades and stuff anymore. It's like, you gotta be clever and take risks.
Totally. You have
Yeah.
to figure out how to play the game.
And you know, it makes me think about the real world too. Sometimes success is all about knowing the right people and knowing those unwritten rules.
Oh, for sure. Like how to work the system.
Exactly. So what does Ayanokoji do? He's got this secret info now. Does he share it?
Well, that's the thing, right? We still don't totally know what his deal is. Like, what are his real goals?
Yeah, he's such a mystery.
I know, right?
It's great.
But he starts subtly, like, nudging his classmates towards these hidden opportunities.
Interesting. So he's not like a rah-rah kind of leader.
Nope.
More like a chess master, moving people around the board.
Exactly. He's orchestrating things from behind the scenes.
I love that.
And as he guides them, you know, they start revealing their own, like, talents.
Like hidden potential they didn't even know they had.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's helping them to grow.
By like pushing them out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Right.
Making them face their weaknesses.
It's like that saying, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yep.
So they start succeeding, they get more confident, and then they start to see each other differently too.
Totally. They start to realize that they're not just competing against each other, they can actually work together.
They're a team.
Yeah, exactly. Which is such a cool message, I think, especially today when we put so much emphasis on individual success.
Yeah, sometimes we forget that we can achieve more when we work together.
Right. Like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts or whatever.
Exactly. So Class D, they're pulling themselves together. They're starting to make a comeback.
It's awesome. They've gone through a lot.
They have.
Learned some hard lessons.
Yeah, some tough lessons.
Faced their own weaknesses. But they've also discovered they can rely on each other.
There's strength in unity, right?
Right.
It's really inspiring. It shows how people can adapt and overcome even the toughest situations.
It really does. And it makes you think, you know, what would they do with this second chance?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Will they just try to climb the ladder in this crazy system? Or will they find a way to, like, change the system altogether?
That's a good question to leave us with.
It is. And that's basically where the episode ends.
Wow, on a cliffhanger.
Right. Leaves you wanting more. And I think it's a question we can all think about in our own lives, you know?
Yeah.
What choices will we make when things get tough?
Will we follow the rules or try to change them?
Big questions. So I think we've explored Classroom of the Elite pretty well. Looked at how it uses this whole idea of social hierarchy and personal responsibility, right?
Yeah, and how even a seemingly perfect system can have all these hidden flaws.
Exactly. I hope our listener has a better understanding of how stories can reflect real life
And how we all react differently to challenges and pressure.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. We are going to bring more of videos like these. Do comment your favorite part of this anime if you had already seen it. Consider subscribing and like the video. And like always, sayonara.